Hey guys, this is the Neo Variable, finally deciding to throw in my voice in a vid on YouTube, just to see what happens. As you may have guessed from my profile picture, I'm a huge Mega Man fan, and as you may not have guessed, I'm also a Christian. But right about now, my focus at the moment is the state of the Mega Man franchise, something of which plenty of people are already aware of. Personally, I don't like the direction it's going. The release of Rockman Crossover, which was duplicated on Newgrounds, canceling Mega Man Legends 3 soon after Keiji left the company, and the silent end of Rockman Online. Naturally, the fans have something to be afraid of, at least on the gaming front. I hate to say it, but it's really not the first time Capcom has replaced its mascot, or silently dropped one of its series. But I don't think all hope is lost, as Archie Comics is doing a fantastic job of recreating the Mega Man universe in its comical comic pages. And there are things still happening for the 25th anniversary of Mega Man. Since there's next to nothing happening on the gaming front, I want to make my 2 cents about it. First of all, I want to say that I haven't played Rockman Crossover, and thus can't give a proper opinion on it. I will say, however, from what I've seen, is that it does leave something to be desired. I think it was Heatman from the Mega Man Network that said it was the first Mega Man game that can be completely played one-handed. While I suppose that would be great news for the handicapped, I'm pretty skeptical as to what was going on through their minds when they released the game. As a guy who has been playing Mega Man for about a good 20 years, I know good and well that playing Mega Man one-handed is impossible, or at least very difficult to do. Minimally, a choice developers would make for an action/platformer side-scroller game. Also, I'm not crazy about the fur collar over one has. Secondly, I also would love to have another Mega Man X game, as I've seen people over the internet ask for since the release of Mega Man 9. That first-person shooter X game wasn't looking too bad, but I think it would stray a bit too far from the formula made for kids. Mega Man X is a darker world most definitely, especially compared to the classic series, but from what those trailers showed, it's going for the Prince of Persia Warrior Within atmosphere, where they were trying so hard to go for a mature audience that they almost completely forgot about the kids in the room. Maybe I'm thinking too hard on a game that hardly made a public appearance, let alone a release. Another entry in the main Mega Man X series would be downright awesome, especially if they give it the treatment they gave to the classic series. But I have to say, the departure of Inafune does make the prospects of making a good throwback game pretty low. So here's what I believe Capcom, during the present state of things, should probably do. Make a spin-off game. What I'm talking about is not the spin-offs of the classic series that makes its own universe, i.e. Mega Man X and Mega Man Zero, but the side games that make itself unique while staying true to the source material, like Mega Man and Bass. Why that particular kind of game? Simple. To ease the conscience of the fans, to get the new producer of the series comfortable with it, and to add content in those games to make them more enjoyable, with the added bonus of making a game for the 25th anniversary, or the 30th anniversary, since I don't expect them to make a game that fast. They could also make sequels to the remakes, like Maverick Hunter X and Mega Man Powered Up, but allow me to focus on the first option a bit. In Mega Man and Bass, you had the choice, of course, to play either as Mega Man or Bass, with Bass providing his own playstyle. And throughout the game, you fought with past enemies and bosses, and collected CDs of all the characters. Think about that game, but now with a lot more content in it, playing it on the 3DS. A good graphical update with the CD database, incorporating the bosses from Mega Man 9 and 10. Perhaps some costumes for the playable characters, with special effects added to them. New robot masters to fight against, as well as original ones thought up by fans, and other goodies. Yet the gameplay of it was pretty much the same as it ever was, but with Mega Man being more able to fight and beat the boss, while Bass was better with the stage portion of the game. Heck, all you have to do now is throw Proto Man in there with his own quirks, and you're good to go. Just please don't release it for the iOS. Instead, make it for the 3DS, or the Vita, or even downloadable only for the consoles. Releasing the game on those platforms is not just what the series needs, but what it deserves. Now I know this is a bit of conjecture on my part, but I do believe that Capcom started remaking the classic and X series to clear up some of the story elements that didn't quite make sense when they first released those games. Personally, I think it is really needed, especially for the PlayStation games. For example, while the death of Iris in X4 was a turning point in Zero's life and career, I honestly felt nothing for either of them. Zero could have easily subdued her without killing her with all his training to be a robot hunter, while Iris, going crazy at the loss of her brother and then fighting Zero, was an unconvincing story element. Colonel was a military man, fighting a war where he has to kill anyone assumed to be a Maverick, something of which he was accidentally caught up in. In all intents and purposes, his death was an eventuality that should have been at least minimally prepared for. It would have been better if she was accidentally killed with Sigma directly pulling her strings, like if she was in some sort of ride armor, while Sigma controlled it or something. Believe me when I say that rant could have been a lot longer, especially if I go on to talk about Mega Man X6. A few more remakes could help with the story, along with some gameplay mechanics. This I do believe sums up my thoughts on the franchise. I know that Mega Man isn't exactly a top seller for Capcom, but really you can't say there isn't real love for the Blue Bomber. Seriously, just look at all the different art they make of him, and the Facebook petitions they have going on. I don't even like Facebook, and yet I'm impressed they are pulling together to give the guy an extra life. Seriously, more power to those guys. Also, a shout out to the people who are making remixes of the music to the games. Although personally, I think there are a bit too many remixes of Wily Stage 1 from Mega Man 2, but I'm not going to complain. But still, more power to the fans. Make a big enough noise, and they will notice what's going on. All rights to their respective owners, and see you later.